The song Gentle on My Mind, written by John Hartford, was a big hit for Glenn Campbell. Surprisingly, on this original record, there was no banjo. A version where there is banjo is when John Hartford sang the song on Glenn Campbell's TV show called The Good Time Hours. You can find that on YouTube. You can find that performance. That's where I transcribed the banjo parts that John Hartford plays. On Glenn Campbell's recording, he is in the key of E flat. When John Hartford sings it, he's singing it in the key of C, and therefore he tunes his banjo to what we like to refer to as C tuning. It's the same tuning as your standard key of G, except your fourth string has been tuned to C. So you'll have a G, a C, a G, a B, and a D. To form your C chord, you just use fingers 1 and 3. You don't need to put down your second finger. There's only one other chord that you need to play throughout the entire song, and that is this D minor. It does require all 4 fingers. In addition to the low-sounding C tuning, part of what adds to John Hartford's mellow sound is he chose to play this particular song without picks. That very opening sound is simply an alternating roll played on this C chord. Even though John Hartford is playing the banjo on this version, he never takes a solo. So the parts we are showing you will be played behind his vocal. I'll now play and sing a verse for you. This will demonstrate the parts that we'll be going over. After the performance, we'll give you a few tips on how to create the sounds that you just heard on the banjo, and then we'll wrap it all up with a practice track. It's knowing that your door is always open and your path is free to walk. That makes me tend to leave my sleeping bag rolled up and stashed behind your couch. And it's knowing I'm not shackled by forgotten words or bonds, all the ink stains that have dried upon some line. Keeps you in the back roads by the rivers of my memories, hours you're just gentle on my mind. After the opening introduction, which was just the alternating roll on the C chord, there is this descending line of these notes of the C scale: C, B, A, and open G. You're doing that while you hold your third finger down and perform what's called a forward roll. Thumb, middle, thumb, index, middle, thumb, index, middle. So that's a full 4 beat measure. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... At that point, the D minor chord that we showed you before comes in, and you do your alternating roll, this time with the index finger on the 3rd string. And then the thumb goes to the 3rd string. And then we have a descending line on the D minor chord, and we're already set up to play it because fingers 3 and 4 are on the top 2 strings. So it's going to be the note on the 2nd string that moves down. D, C sharp, C, B. Still with the forward roll. And that goes back to your C chord. You essentially repeat everything, although after you do the descending line on the C, this second time you'll put in 2 measures of the alternating roll before you go to your D minor chord. And then as you do your descending line on the D minor chord, there are 2 extra measures. You put down your second finger on the 3rd string, still do a forward roll. The background chord at this point becomes a G7, but we're holding this. And a little wrap-up measure. And that takes you back to your C chord. So those are the pieces that you'll need to put it all together. We now will give you a practice track, played at a fairly slow speed, and there'll be a scrolling tab going across the screen to show you what notes to play as you go along. As always, dig in and have fun.